in the background there. Woo!
All right. We are live, and live, which means Brad can unbutton his shirt just a little bit more. No, please don't. It's all right.
Oh, God.
It's
I need to get my sunglasses if you're going to do that again.
Have you had a hot day in Victoria? Because like when you did that, it was just like this white light just shone out. Have you actually got the Matrix?
I may have whitened up over winter a tad. A lot.
No, it's all right. Everyone's whitened up over lockdown. It's okay. This might actually be the first time we've had you on since lockdown. I think it's been a while.
I didn't look that up, but it has been a while.
No, I didn't. I wasn't expecting you to look it up. I thought you might have known, but yes. I guess it gets confusing if you edit the show every week, knowing which ones you're in and not in. So fair enough. All right. Is everyone sitting comfortably?
You already asked us that. And we said no.
Yeah, I know, but now we're on the stream. So now when you say no, I'm going to say, well, then let's begin. All right. Welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We're bringing you Transformers news from around the world in Australian accents. It's all the twos this week. This is episode 220, and we're recording live on the 2nd of October, 2020. 222 for 22. Thank you to the 12th man. This week we will be talking about official images from PulseCon. We knew this was coming up last week, but we recorded our show just before PulseCon had its Transformers event on the Saturday night. So everything is new, and there's lots of good stuff to talk about. There is a new preview of the Netflix Earthrise cartoon that I'm going to assume we've all watched and can speak about, and more. All of that coming up in this week's episode of Australian Transformers Weekly. These are the opening credits.
That sounds actually nothing like the opening credits.
Opening.
But you can't sing the Transformers G1 theme.
Transformers more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons.
No, but you can't sing the theme. That's the words. Anyway. Now that
you have an epic movie voice.
Now this summer.
There it is.
Now that it's gotten weird, we're going to start the show.
Before time began.
Oh, that's good. I've got goosebumps. Yeah.
Oh, feel my nipples.
We don't have.
We can almost see them.
We can see them.
I'm doing it up. That's it. I assume there's another button here somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's a bit higher than I thought it'd be.
That's okay. So, Bradley, tell us why you'd like to work for TCCA. This is like the. No, sorry, not Bradley. Brad, tell us why you'd like to work for TCCA. This is like a job interview. You're all dressed up to the nines.
In pajamas, yes.
Pajamas, yeah. No,
pajama top.
They look good on camera. So yeah.
Yes. Well,
you're wearing just like plaid.
No, I mean he's from country.
I must say, I went into Target today, and they had a denim tuxedo, Canadian tuxedo top jacket for half price. I got it for $25. Full denim, all the wool insert, lovely.
I went out to dinner tonight wearing jeans and a denim jacket. So, it's fine.
Just feel the denim. Feel the denim.
I did. I felt the denim. It was lovely. We should start the show. Hello, welcome. This is going to be.
I think we already started it, didn't we?
This is going to be really good for the outtakes for Brad, and he has to edit around this. So, yes. Welcome to the show. I'm Jason. Joining me from the other side of the country this week, as usual, we have Bradley. How are you doing, Bradley?
I'm doing quite well, thank you, Jason. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's I'm not sure if it's a long weekend coming up everywhere in Australia, but at least in New South Wales, this weekend is going to be an extra long one. It's first public holiday in about 4 months for us, so it's been well looked forward to.
Well, for once, we're ahead of you. We had our long weekend last weekend.
There's like 10 of them. I
mean, whatever.
I don't think we're ahead of each other, but yeah.
I mean, you guys are ahead of me time zone wise, so got to get the long weekend done quicker.
It's not just the time zone; it's also the years.
Yeah.
Brad is nodding and smiling. So the other person joining us on the podcast this week is our long lost co-host Brad Mull, coming to us from an undisclosed location in country Victoria. How are you doing, sir? It's been a long time.
Shit got mobile. I am mobile in my motorhome.
He's in a mobile podcast studio.
Yes, I've left the bunker. I have got into my fortified war rig, and I'm now touring the wasteland of Australia, searching for transformers and fuel and water. not necessarily in that order, but yeah.
We need to come up with a Mad Max name for you. I know you're just like Mad Brad.
Boisterous Brad.
Boisterous. Maybe you're Bad Max instead of Mad Max. I know you're mad. Are you mad, bad, and dangerous to know?
Well, I would like to promote my Etsy page if I could. Mad Hair. I'm selling my hair as rope. It's $5 a foot. So.
Yeah, so having this being the first time that I've seen you in several months, I did notice that the hair seems to have grown a little bit in lockdown.
For those not on the video feed, I haven't had a haircut since December, so
it's become more like the mane of leadership now.
Brad hasn't had a haircut since December 2014. Brad, you are not actually
unpack the fridge.
You're not actually in lockdown anymore down there.
Well,
since you're in country Victoria.
Yeah, but we're still restricted.
Oh, yeah, everyone is restricted somewhat, but at least you're doing better than Melbourne.
Yeah,
so,
but at least
congratulations to you on your eased restrictions.
Well, at least where I am here, I'm sort of out in the open where, apart from having to go to the town to do shopping every now and then, having to wear a face mask, I've been pretty chillax. One of the few that have been working flat out the whole time and not have to stop work and all that sort of stuff. So can't complain as much as I want.
No, I mean, there's definitely a few of us that have not stopped working, but it's more power to you. If you've been able to hold a job through the pandemic and continue to work and get paid, then it's good. All right, you know what? We should probably talk about some Transformers, because that's what we're actually here to talk about.
That's what the podcast is named after.
Not Brad's Fringe. It's Fringe Dwellers 101.
Or his chest.
Well, I mean, like it's right there.
Oh yeah, true.
All right, so we are going to start talking about some news. We missed PulseCon last week by about 22 hours for the discussion of all of the Transformers Kingdom reveals that we knew were coming. There were about three Transformers panels at PulseCon. One of them revealed some Kingdom toys, and there was an interview with Frank Cullen and Frank
Cullen and Peter Welker.
Peter Welker and Frank Cullen. They attend so many conventions together.
Optimus Tron and Mega Prime.
Yeah. And no, anyway, so there were three panels. There was an interview with Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. There was an interview with some of the creative team behind the new Netflix series, FJ DeSanto, and one of the animators from Polygon Pictures in Japan. And there was the toy panel, which was the thing that we were really there for to watch all along. That the toy panel had the official reveal of some of the first Kingdom toys. Now, IGN went live. We did talk about these last week. IGN went live with reveals of Megatron and Cyclonus and Rat Trap, and so Hasbro came along and filled in the rest on Saturday night. So there's a bunch of There's a bunch of new things coming to us in Kingdom. There was some new Generation Select figures revealed, and of course, there's also the Transformers Prime Anniversary, which we'll talk about as well. First up, though, we are going to. What's that?
Teeny Prime.
Teeny Prime. So first of all, we are going to talk about the Core class figures. Now, Core is essentially the new 2020 version of Legends. They're tiny, and I will remind you that for all of the fun that everyone's having in the third-party stakes at the Legends size, Hasbro kind of did it first. The Legends figures through Combiner Wars and Titans Return and Power of the Primes, they were really popular and really well regarded at their size point. So while Hasbro seems to disregard this size for the first couple of releases of War for Cybertron, it's really good to see it coming back, and hopefully coming back with a vengeance. Now, Hasbro says that they really took the core of Earthrise Prime and shrunk it down to the core class. And so it's been a while since we've seen an Optimus Prime at this scale, and I don't know. What do you think, Brad? Is Core Prime for you?
I was going to say a lot of my Transformers Prime collection are the Legends figures that come out in that line too. So I did go back a lot further than what came out recently.
Yeah, there's always been little ones, but I felt like it's really in Combiner Wars and Titans Return and Power of the Prime, but that it really became well regarded. Because other than that, the small figures tended to just sort of be lacking in a bunch of things.
Yeah, I still Power Glide's one of my favorite figures from that original Combiner Wars line, being one of those little Legends figures.
He's great. He's on a shelf behind me somewhere.
Yeah. With what they're doing with the Deluxe and the Voyager, that one, Voyager Primes, I can see this being a cheaper version, but I don't really. I'm surprised it's got 11 steps. I'll say that.
So we are looking at the back of the box for the core figure, and it does say it's got an 11-step transformation. He does look good, but I don't think I need to put a mini Prime in my collection. How about you, Bradley?
No. This just looks like looks like something we've seen recently with a mini Prime, but I can't remember the last time there was a mini Prime. But this just looks.
No, I think it was actually Thrilling 30 was the last time we would have seen a small Prime in this class. Because we saw that figure repainted into Huffer and Pipes throughout Combiner Wars and Titans Return.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
I don't think we've seen Prime at this size for a while.
No, but yeah, I mean, at the same time, this is coming out next year? Or is it this year?
And we've got left this year.
Yeah, we got Earthrise Optimus Prime, so it's I don't know.
So they did make a point during the live stream announcing this to say that they had taken a lot of the design cues and influence from Earthrise Prime. So I think that sort of means the color of the windows and some of the details of where smokestacks are and stuff like that. But he looks competent, but I don't really want it.
Yeah, the front of the truck looks a lot like Earthrise Prime because Earthrise Prime did have sort of like a. I mean, yeah, it's Optimus, but it did have its sort of own look, and this just looks a bit similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on. So the other core class figure that was revealed is Rat Trap. Now, we've had this figure on the podcast for a couple of episodes now because he did leak out and was involved in a very, very extensive photo shoot. But now we know sort of the purpose of the core class and the size of him. So he is quite small. But he does seem to capture the essence of Rat Trap as a Beast Wars character quite convincingly. Also notable is that both of these characters actually do come with weapons, which I think that's something that has been a bit lacking in that size and price point for a while. Now, Brad, you are the massive Beast Wars fan in the room. So what do you make of this figure?
Can we just go to next? Is there a rat mode?
Yes, there is. No, there's not.
No, there's not.
It's around, but we saw him
of the packet,
a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. For what this figure's doing for its size, I think it's fantastic. Just comparing it to what that past Prime was. Like, you can clearly see his feet on the back, and of course, this is going into a multi-paneled rat, which you're going to have with the Beast Wars figures. It's not going to replace the Generations one, which I've got.
So the
But I
Generations one is deluxe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's never going to be like the same size.
No.
Yeah.
No. But it's just it'd be interesting to see how the scales going through this, what we've seen of Megatron, Primal, like Cheetor's in there as well. Just what that scale is.
Spoilers.
You talked about it last week.
We spoke about Cheetor last week, yeah.
Yeah, just what that scale is compared to the Generations figures. Whether you could put any of those figures in this line as well.
So you can't really. Although I mean, like, it depends how you scale your beasts. But in general, the Siege and Earthrise figures have been smaller than their comparable figures at the same price point in the lines that have gone before.
Yeah. And I've been talking to another massive Beast Wars fan too, and he, as much as he'd love Beast Wars, Megatron, Dinobot, and all the rest, just the price point of the new masterpieces has really turned him off. But now that these figures, with what we've seen so far, just look the part. They're not the masterpiece scale or complexity, but they're doing more than what the original figures were. And to have these figures next to the originals as a bit of an update is a easy pass.
You mean the masterpiece figures are an easy pass?
No, these
ones. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Until we get to whatever the hell these are.
Right. So the next core figure up is Vertebrake, who I believe it turns into something like a pterodactyl or something like that.
Looks like a velociraptor.
No, they gave Vertebrake a name. His dinosaur mode, and I can't remember what it was. But he's a very specific type of dinosaur, and I can't remember what it is.
The point here is there's a couple of figures coming out that are just skeletons that transform into weapons and melee weapons and stuff.
So those are called fossilizers, and I don't think this guy is one, because this guy's actually just a small transformer. This one doesn't break apart.
Okay.
I think they're
really going to fossilize on the shelf. No, not particularly.
Yeah.
So I take it it's a not buy from you, Bradley.
This is the first time I've seen this one, and no, it's just like if I buy a toy, it usually has to be of an existing character, and I'm not familiar with Vertebrake or what character it may be trying to represent.
There's going to be some new characters that come out through the range. So
yeah.
Anyway, so Vertebrake, he's a sort of a skeletal dinosaur looking figure. A 14-step transformation according to the back of his box. And yes, so the Predacons and Maximals are two of the factions in Kingdom. So we don't know precisely what's going on, if there is actually the time travel thing that was rumored. So while we have Autobots and Decepticons in the present day, if the time travel plot is to be believed, the Autobots and the Decepticons will be transported back in time to meet the Predacons and the Maximals.
Cool.
or forward in time.
Well, the rumor was back, so yeah.
Okay.
And so there's a better close-up look at his box. Now, I should also just point out the box art for Kingdom is looking really quite stunning. So we've had this sort of dark blue and dark aqua color on the Transformers range for the last couple of years, and the Kingdom box art really blows it up with sort of a big warm colors. So there's a lot of orange, and it's really sort of intended to sort of look more like it's the dinosaurs back at the dawn of time and stuff like that. And I gotta say, really quite like the box art. We will see some of the deluxe box art coming up shortly as well. So there's one more look at Vertebrake before we move on, and we're going to move on to Deluxe Black Arachnia. Now, this is a figure that we have seen in a couple of leaks over the last few months, but she does look very much like her Beast Wars cartoon version. And she has this thing where she's got all of these the spider legs attached to her upper arm, and that sort of the spider legs are quite posable. They've shown some photographs of them of the spider mode hanging off things. So they said in the live stream last weekend, they said that they made sure that the legs had quite tight joints so that you could actually position the spider as you saw fit. And we're looking at the box art there, and so there's this big wraparound artwork that wraps onto the front of the box now, and it looks like they've actually possibly done away with plastic in the packaging for these figures, because there's just a window and the character appears to be attached to artwork at the back of the box. So there's possibly no plastic window and there's possibly no plastic insert, which is a good step forward for Transformers packaging in terms of recyclability and materials that go into it. However, it does also mean that you can't necessarily see that much of the character inside the box. You sort of get the top half of the torso. So, Black Arachnia, classic character. Brad, what do you think?
Oh boy, it's not a new acquisitions, but I got the Masterpiece one. It's still sitting in the box. I haven't taken it out of the box yet, so go figure. But that looks fantastic. If you go back to her in her robot mode, I showed my son this last night. Yeah, that when I was doing the run sheet, and we both started to giggle. He said, "What are you giggling at?" And I said, "You first." And I went and said, "Oh, her legs are black and not a different color." Obviously, shying away from the fact that they're going very cartoon accurate with her torso. But again, like the Masterpiece cost whatever I paid for it, but this is fantastic. We had the Generations one, and I've got the Generations one, so I won't be going out to buy this straight away to replace that. But it's a fantastic looking Black Arachnia. It's clearly not just a Tarantulas repaint like we got with the original line.
It does seem like Tarantulas could be a retool here as well.
that would be ironic if Tarantulas ends up being a retool of her. But that box art, that level looks. I haven't been keeping many of the new boxes, but this may get me to start keeping them again.
I think you could probably just like if it was the box art that I was interested in, I'd probably like harass Hasbro for a download of it instead of trying to keep the box. Although you never know, maybe because there's no plastic, maybe the box will survive.
Well, maybe someone's flattened it out and scanned it.
Let's move on. Cheetor is also in the deluxe class. So I should mention that we are going through what's been revealed as Wave 1 of War for Cybertron Kingdom. So it's a mix of G1 style characters and Beast Wars style characters. So up next is Cheetor. We have seen Cheetor in leaked images, and he looks like a scaled down version of the Masterpiece. It's actually really impressive what they've done with him. That is not him. So like we have talked about him a bit over the last couple of weeks. So Bradley, you and I have had a lot to say. Brad, what do you think about him?
Again, looks fantastic. I do find it funny that pretty much the first 4 or 5 Masterpiece releases we've had for Beast Wars, they've just gone up and straight up, here it is, Wave 1.
Yeah, good point.
Well, but the Masterpiece figures are popular characters, and they're going to want to top load. They're going to want to top load Kingdom with popular characters in an attempt to stop it from shell forming for the rest of the year, right?
Well, we may get to this discussion later of just, are we going to get a Kingdom Prime Megatron? Well, we're going to get Prime or Megatron, whether there's going to be another G1 version, which we have to keep on getting each line. Yep, rightio, here we go, Beast Wars time.
I'm just hopeful that they're done with G1 Primes, and
that will never happen
in terms of Kingdom, right? Like I don't think they need to make a G1 Prime in Kingdom. But
did you see the first figure of this line that we looked at? That's an Optimus Prime.
Fine. I don't think they need to make a new expensive G1 Prime in Kingdom, but. I think also the fact that Megatron kind of got shortchanged in Earthrise sort of points to the fact that he's got like the Royal Kingdom treatment with his Beast Wars version. So anyway, look, that's Cheetor. Let's move on. So this guy is Paleotrex. Now this guy is a fossilizer. So you got to remember in Siege and in Earthrise, it's been deluxe class figures that break apart and form armor for other robots, and that is true of this guy. So he's the fossilizer. He breaks apart. You can use bits of him to sort of add on and do other things with other characters. And there is a direct reference to the mace weapon that was created for Optimus Primal in his head design.
Yeah, I was going to say that. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's just Optimus Primal's mace, just with a body.
Yeah, with a body. Also, like let's just realize, like, it looks creepy as fuck. It's like a skeletal robot dinosaur.
Oh, is that the one we saw in that leak a few weeks ago? And I thought it was Transmetal 2 Dinobot.
It's possible.
Yeah,
I can neither confirm nor deny. I'm not particularly interested in this one, but how do you guys feel about him?
No.
It's a no from the guy who doesn't like Beast Wars, and it's a no from the guy who does.
Yep.
All right. How about some Warpath? Bam, kablooey.
Wow!
Do you want some? Wow! He is a nice looking deluxe class figure. The only thing that is stopping me from actually being interested in buying this is that I just bought the Fans Toys Masterpiece version.
You know what I find really funny about this picture though is sometimes you get a toy and it's back heavy because it doesn't have heels, and this guy's really overdoing the heels. Look at that.
Look, Warpath is not going to fall over no matter how you pose him.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And he's a very faithful sort of upscale and adaptation of his G1 mini tank mode in that lovely maroon color. So so Warpath, are we a fan?
That's growing on me.
Yeah, I've got the Generations one, even though it's a H tank. I still think that's a great looking Warpath. I'm not really into the Warpath collecting sort of thing.
So like you don't want to collect a new one because you've already got one in your collection, which is it's a legitimate problem that I think Hasbro is going to end up having to deal with if they keep revisiting these characters. Like people are going to come back and just go, yeah, you know what? I like the fact that you've done a new Warpath, but like, you know, the version you did in 2013 was definitive.
Well, that's the point in their favour. The fact that Generations figure was probably 2012, 2013. They need to update. They need to keep on making the figures, and this is a more G1. Obviously, we've got the Sherman tank alt mode instead of just a H tank.
Yeah, this one pretty much just knocks the ball out of the park for what you want for a Warpath toy. He looks like the animation model, and he's pretty good. Like, I've got the H tank. I've got a couple of versions of that mold, but getting a Warpath that actually looks like the animation model, pretty.
So it's possibly putting him on the to buy list for both of you.
I like it. I probably won't get it, but I do.
Oh yeah, sorry, Bradley at least. Yeah.
How about you, Jason?
I'm not sure that I need a Chug Warpath. I've got myself a masterpiece on the shelf, so I don't think I need to buy a Chug version.
Fair enough. Yeah. But I mean, if you've got masterpiece, this could be a good scale for a mini bot.
He's already pretty small in the Fans Toys Masterpiece scale.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look at this big boy.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So we're done. We've skipped Voyagers for now. We've gone from Deluxe Warpath to leader class Beast T-Rex Megatron. Interestingly enough, we've got a couple of different pictures of this one to cover. I think we actually did cover this guy off last week because he was one of the leaks. But The photos that we saw of this guy last week, like they looked very sort of dark and shiny, and this is very light. This is a very light purple that we're seing in this photo.
I swear this picture is blinking as well. Those red eyes occasionally look like they're just dimming and coming back.
Well, that's the problem when you go first to last week when you're looking at those photos with some sort of reviewer which had him in lava.
Oh no, they were Hasbro's photos.
Yeah, they were
Oh, were
official
they?
stock images because they were
Mhm.
like in a studio and professionally done and
Oh.
everything like
We
that.
will get to those. We'll get to those photos for the characters that were revealed here soon. But,
Well, I was going to criticise that here we are with the official photos and just in a white background, which don't show the highlights and the detail in the bot completely like a dark background would. But
I think this one looks. I mean, I was sold last week, and now this is just like shut up and give me a pre-order.
pretty much,
You know what? I got to say, of all of these things, I feel like this is a render.
yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon it's a render and not a photo because, like the surfaces are just extra shiny.
There's no, there's no. Where's the light source coming from?
I don't
And
know.
that sort of
I don't know. But I think that might also be why his colors are so bright.
Coming from the front left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, like there's lots of detail on the bot mode. He does look like he might finally not be a Voyager figure with extra armor on. Although it is worth noting that the head and the neck and the tail obviously detach. So maybe that's where the armor piece comes in. You can see in robot mode, he is sort of, as you said before, Brad. He's a panel beast, but at least he's not too bad with his panel lines and things lining up here.
Well, the
And-
original one's
Well-
a panel. The original Beast Wars toys is a panel beast as well.
They all are. You can't make a realistic looking beast mode without that sort of technique. But like I feel like this is fairly well done. I say I don't have a Beast Wars Megatron. I have got the Masterpiece version, but it's in a box.
So you don't have it then.
I don't have it on display.
And that's the whole story. The fact that I paid $460 for my Beast Wars Megatron, and yes, this is probably a little bit smaller, of course,
Well, definitely
because
smaller.
less
Probably a bit cheaper
engineering.
too.
Oh, yeah.
He looks fantastic.
He
Yeah.
looks fantastic for the price point, and that's
Yeah.
I could not if this came out 2 years ago before Masterpiece Megatron, I would be seriously considering not getting Masterpiece Megatron.
As it is, you're seriously considering not getting this one, right?
Well, I can play off this one. I haven't.
Yeah,
transformed
you
it
can.
on mode yet.
That's absolutely correct.
I don't want to break it.
Let's take a step back. So we will also just point out that we've got one leader class figure that we've revealed for Kingdom Wave 1. Leader class figures do need a wave mate. Apparently, Megatron's wave mate is a re-release of Earthrise Prime, which no, it kind of makes sense because like there's still people who are just like, I don't know how to find this Prime, I can't get it. So
okay.
man, fair enough. So if you want it, it's there. But otherwise, like I feel like there's been enough Earthrise Prime releases, especially in the last 6 months.
No, we need more.
That's right. Now we also saw Cyclonus last week, so we're looking at sort of impact figures of him here, and let's see, is there a close up there? So I gotta say he does look fantastic. It looks like he's sort of stepped out of the cartoon. However, there is still a question of what the hell is going on with his legs, the knees. Like
I'm
he's got bucket legs.
I'm also wondering if his upper arms have been transformed correctly. The wings on his back, they look like they're jutting out a bit more than they were in the other photos.
Maybe I still think these are renders. So, yeah, I think they're renders. They're just well lit. It also explains why they're on a white void.
Do you think they've been like someone's taken a photo and then just really well photoshopped it out of the background?
That's why I think they're renders. I think as time goes on, the ability to render these objects in photorealistic ways actually is catching up with us.
Okay. Still looks really, really sexy.
It does. It really does look great. Like I'll be more than happy to add this guy into my collection.
Do you know what those knees remind me of?
Ectotron?
No, Combiner Wars Galvatron.
Yeah. So this is an interesting. Do you actually mean Combiner Wars Cyclonus? Or no, Galvatron? No, because I see what you mean. So the knee pads.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a question going around as to whether or not this guy is actually a new mold or if he's a retool of the Combiner Wars Cyclonus. But he doesn't. It doesn't quite look like the Combiner Wars version, but it does seem like it's not a million miles away from it either. But also, the Combiner Wars version was such a good sort of representation of Cyclonus anyway that if you're going for a more accurate version, it's gonna call up comparisons with it.
Well, I mean, yeah. Plus, that mold was used like what, a half dozen times in Combiner Wars.
Yeah, he was a Silverbolt repaint and stuff as well. It's a little bit weird. There's some parts of it that ape that design, and I hope you can't hear the dog bark in the background. There's some parts of it that ape that design, and there's others that are obviously new. So, yeah.
Well, I think the legs that we saw in the jet formers in Combiner Wars are still, like, the engineering is still being used in figures today, and that's probably why we've got a similar looking Cyclonus leg situation.
You're probably right. There's only so many ways that you really need to engineer a jet mode, especially for a bot like Cyclonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't Combiner Wars. It was the Titans Return Galvatron I was thinking of.
Yes. Galvatron was in Titans Return. Galvatronus was in Combiner Wars, though.
Oh, yes.
All right, so here's the next big beastie boy. We saw Optimus Primal released or announced for the first time. He is a Voyager class figure, and he's coming in Wave 1 of Kingdom. Sorry, Doug is barking a lot in the background. If you can hear him, I don't know if you can hear him or not.
Yeah, we can.
Sorry.
It's all right.
So this is Optimus Primal. He is the first Voyager Beast figure that we've seen. The other Voyager figure was obviously Cyclonus we're just talking about. So this Primal has got sort of like the fur texture on his plastic. He's got the classic sort of Prime-esque Primal face design, and of course he's got a Gorilla alt mode. And I got to say, his Gorilla alt mode actually looks fantastic. He looks like he's a toy of King Kong, which is probably, I assume that's really what they were going for with him. So
repaint into King Kong.
It'll be the 2022 crossover.
Yeah.
Universal Monsters.
So we've got an Optimus Primal figure. What do you think of him, Brad?
I find it very interesting that for the Beast Wars figures we've seen so far, they've gone for cartoon character accuracy, where this is straight up the toy from Beast Wars with that fur on. The animation model does not have any of this fur on it whatsoever. This is straight up the Beast Wars Optimus Primal toy from 94, 95.
Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Or is this just
No, this is the animation model. I've got the 96 toy remold into from 2006, and this is the animation model from the show
with the fur. Oh, I need to. Okay, I need to rewatch it.
It's been 25 years, as it turns out, because this is why we're getting these figures next year for the Beast Wars anniversary.
Well, to be fair, though, in the show, the fur isn't really as chiseled as it is in these photos. In the show, it's just black. Like there's never any sort of fur blowing in the wind or anything. It's just always he's got black armor. I don't know.
Well, I'm only going off the Masterpiece version, which I assumed was show accurate, and it's not furry. So apart from the texture,
Yeah, the Masterpiece is probably more show accurate, but this one looks good because, like I said, I've got the 2006 reissue, and it's just the 96 toy with the more accurate Toon head, and this just looks really great. So definitely buy.
I'm gonna get my suitcase and pack my Beast Wars credentials away and put them over there. I might need to rewatch the cartoon.
So do I.
I might need to watch the cartoon at some point. I probably should.
You should. You really should.
Unless you got some nostalgia there, I'd suggest not.
It's got.
I kind of want to watch it so that I know what it's about. Because, like, I understand many of the references to it, and like I know sort of the plot and what's going on, but I just haven't actually watched it.
It's got really good characters, voice work, and really good storytelling.
Yeah. You just need to get over the fact that it was made when it was made.
Oh yeah, I can forgive CGI of its time. That's not really a problem.
No, that's good because a lot can't.
Yeah, I know what can't. Yeah. Let's move on. So we've got.
That's a hell of that.
So this, I believe, is actually this is the new Transformers RED Cheetor. Now, RED is robot enhanced design, which is just a buzzword to say that it's a non-transforming figure. And yes, it's also known as an Action Master. However, the fact that it's an Action Master does allow them to make a character that is a lot more articulated and has a lot more options, and you can sort of replace some of his parts for like hands and pieces like that. So this is wave 2 of the RAD models. Now, they've been Walmart exclusives in the US, but you can import them from certain shops. I believe Savia's Toys in Melbourne is actually offering the first wave of them on, I think that they're on pre-order at the moment. I don't think it's got them in stock yet. So the wave 2 figures for this, there is a Cheetor and there is a Transformers Prime RC. Now, wave 1 was all G1 characters. Wave 2, it's actually really nice to see them sort of going out of the G1 comfort zone and hitting up Beast Wars and Transformers Prime. Yeah. Does anyone actually require non-transforming Transformers in their collection?
Well, I mean, you should be sued for false advertising. It's called Transformers and it doesn't transform. But that Cheetor that we're looking at, with the way he's posed, he's like, "Hey, where's my alt mode gone?" Like the way he's got his hands, like, "Hey,
dude, where's my alt mode?" Yeah, fair enough. So red, not really for you guys.
I quite like it. I've always argued the fact that we should have some sort of posable action figure counter to the Masterpiece line or something for half the price. I'd love to see. Prime's gone. I'd love to see what price scale these are at compared to their transforming counterparts. To have this RC, then have the Transformers Prime RC motorcycle sitting beside it would be fantastic.
I think
it'd be the only one in the line.
I'm looking it up, but I believe their US price is $30.
I think these like this RC looks good because I think as a toy, the Prime toys kind of suffered because the animation models there got sharp edges, and obviously as a toy that couldn't really be realized if it was transforming and everything.
Yep.
And this Prime RC that we're looking at looks pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to get it personally, but at the same time, if you're a fan of Prime or this version of RC, it certainly looks pretty cool. Good display piece.
Yeah, you got a lot of the kibble too, like being a motorcycle bot. The toy had the wheels on the shoulders and the legs, and whereas here you can get rid of all that.
So looking around, I can see a few photos of these guys on the net, and I can see that. So the Singapore price is $40. Singapore dollar is about 1 to 1. So you can assume they're probably about $40 to $45 equivalent to bring them in here.
Mm.
What
Yeah.
scale is it? Like, obviously, if we were
guessing
using
deluxe.
regular, deluxe,
So
sort of about the right price.
Yeah, I mean, like they're about the size of a deluxe figure. It's not really. If it's the kind of thing that you're looking for, then go for it.
Yeah.
I don't think I really need. I don't think I really need sort of an anthology non-transforming figure collection on my shelf. I think I've got enough things on my Transformers collection shelves that does Transformers. I don't think I need to add more things that don't. But I do like the designs. Like RC's Prime design has always been absolutely fantastic, and it's really nice to see that. It's really nice to see that design realized in a new figure, because it's been 10 years since Prime RC had a figure.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on from these guys, and just so before we sort of like polish off some of this, these are some of the volcanic press shots that we were getting from IGN, but for the new figures that were revealed there. So this is so we're looking at Warpath wearing parts of the fossilizer that we were talking about earlier. Look, you might scoff at it, but like you're perfectly free not to do it.
Yeah, it looks like the Autobots and Decepticons had a fight at a museum, and Warpath just fell into a display.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a better look at Warpath's alt mode there as well.
Yeah, very nice.
I can just imagine the pitch meeting Monday morning. We're going to make fossilizers. They're going to come apart, and there'll be weapons for the Autobots to fight the Decepticons.
You mean weaponizers? No, made of
No.
They're fossils.
Yeah. Now, so I gotta say, this picture that's up now, this is a picture of Optimus Primal. This is one of the ones that has just wowed me, because the face manages to convey such an expression. And so for people listening, he's in his alt mode, and he's almost got sort of a King Kong look of displeasure on his face, and it looks fantastic. I really love what they've done with the alt mode on this character. He's also really articulated, because like he's actually sort of standing on his back legs, but he's leaning on his fists, his four fists. Yeah,
His
fantastic.
knuckles.
Yeah, his knuckles. Let's go with that, right? So there's a bit of another look at the fossilizer sort of in alt mode there. So these are some of the photos that I was talking about with Black Arachnia. Now they called this out on the live stream that the legs have particularly strong joints, and so you can see that like the legs are actually supporting this character here. They did say that they cheated a little bit and they dug the legs into the polystyrene
yeah, probably.
which is fair enough, because like otherwise it's certainly going to fall off that ledge, right? But unless they just took the photo and then rotated it.
Yeah, I think it's just on an angle shot.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. They can have it flat.
It still looks fantastic, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think the next one is no. So back to Warpath there. Warpath looking great. There's the core Optimus Prime, who does look pretty good when you sort of take him out of the box and start posing him. Yeah.
I agree. It doesn't look great.
Brad, it's a $20 toy.
Yeah, I know.
You got to remember that there are going to be people who can't afford the leader class figure, can't afford the masterpiece figure. It's going to be their Prime.
Yeah, but don't advertise it like it's more than it is. Okay,
it's fine. It's
more than it isn't.
It's their photo shoot anyway.
Yeah.
So there's some more shots of Prime and Black Arachnia. Now we're going to move on and talk about the other. So there's a couple of other sets, three other sets that they revealed in PulseCon. And we've got to move on, because like we're approaching.
Yeah, I know. We're
talking about this stuff.
We overshot last week.
You told us that we'd gone on too long last week. So Transformers Prime is hitting its 10th anniversary, and so Hasbro has decided to it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Thank you.
Hasbro has decided to greet its 10th anniversary with some special edition re-releases of some figures. Now these figures did not make it stateside in the in the first time around that we saw Transformers Prime figures. Now, full disclosure, not really needed, whatever. But I've pre-ordered these because they look absolutely amazing. So, the first thing that we're looking at is a figure that Hasbro has decided to call Hades Megatron, and this is so Hades is like a reference for hell. And so this is a re-release of the Japanese shiny Megatron from Prime. Now, I've always been of the opinion that in the Prime versus Megatron stakes in Transformers Prime, Megatron had the best design. I felt like the designers really didn't put that much effort into Optimus Prime and Transformers Prime. Megatron got the lion's share of the development, and this figure really shows that there's shiny bits everywhere, there's pointy bits, there's spires, there's little snap apart models that you can break apart, form into a character, and you can also attach them on his back here. So I have more than happily pre-ordered this figure, and I cannot wait for it to arrive. I think it's a great representation of Megatron. Now, as anyone else who's actually been celebrating the anniversary of Prime, Brad, what do you think?
There's a scratchy recording here that's going to keep playing. I've got the original Megatron. I don't know what all this extra bits are. It's not the Takara.
So they kind of are
from Arms Micron, isn't it?
They are from Takara's Arms Micron release. That's why this is here.
That's all that shit I got off that Jet Vericon I threw on the bin. Okay, yeah.
Well, so it's funny you talk about Jet Vericon because that's coming up next as well.
Crap.
So anyway, shiny Megatron never got released in the West, so here he comes. He is available on Pulse for, and this is actually the cool thing. I'm pretty sure that he's $29.95 US.
Oh wow!
So he's a pretty good price. Let me see if I can find a browser that I can check this in. Oh, no, I'm just.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't make sure it's not on the screen share.
So Transformers Prime Hades Megatron US $29.99. So like that's pretty good value for what this figure actually is. Now, this is not the only Transformers Prime set that is coming out this year. I say this year; they actually come out January 2021. But there's another special gift that Hasbro has given us for the anniversary, which is finally we're going to get the US release of Transformers Prime Breakdown. In this incarnation, for whatever reason, he's called War Breakdown, and it's the first time the figure's Voyager version has been released in the West. He was released in Japan, and for a variety of reasons, he didn't make a Western release. It's said to be due to his part count because he's got a lot more parts on him than a standard Voyager, so he's actually quite expensive to produce. So they've decided to pair him up with another figure that didn't actually make a Western release, which is the one that Brad just talked about, the Jet Vericon. And so let's have a look at this there. I don't know why they're on a grey background, but yeah, there we have them. So, being re-releases of the Japanese molds, they also come with the Arms Micron partners as well, which, as Brad just politely said, it was the bunch of shit that he threw away when he got the Jet Vericon. So Brad, you've actually got Jet Vericon.
Yeah, but it wasn't black; it was grey. So they've painted it black for this release.
You got to be black, or is it a dark purple?
No, it was grey. It was like
this one that we're looking at.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure this is black. This one. Okay. There are purple highlights.
This is horrible because you can't troop build the Vericon and also have 5 breakdowns. But that breakdown, it is going for stupid money on eBay. That and the Silas breakdown that come down after it, both figures that weren't released and I do not have in my collection. I'd love to have to complete my Prime line. They're fantastic looking figures. I'm glad they're getting a reissue. I hope I can find them for cheap. I'll find them somewhere.
I think this is a fantastic gift from Hasbro for Prime's 10th anniversary. This is very much them going back and just going, sorry, we didn't release this figure. Sorry, it's gone for $300 or $400 or $500 now. Here, have a new release of it and enjoy it. I've got the Arms Micron version of Knockout. He's sitting in a box waiting for. He's been sitting in a box waiting for Breakdown to turn up, and I've had an eBay watch on Breakdown for years now, just sort of waiting to find one that comes up at a reasonable price. And I've deleted the eBay watch because I've ordered this one. I've very happily ordered this one. So the set is currently available from Pulse. So you get a Voyager and a Deluxe for $39 US, $39.99, and. Wow. So you can order them from Pulse. Now, the word is that these won't make a local release. So if you are at all interested in Transformers Prime and you want to acquire these figures, you're going to have to import it from somewhere. There's a couple of places that are advertising them as available to ship now, and there's a few places that are more expensive than others. I've got them on order from Pulse, and I'll be shipping them over from a freight forwarder. That's just how I do it. But I have also seen, actually, you know what, I said they're not available locally, but I have seen the Prime and Jet Viacon. They are listed on Zavvi. So Zavvi has been sort of moving into the Australian market and bringing some of the Gen Selects figures and other exclusives with them. So I was really surprised when I was scrolling through Zavvi looking for Gigawatt, and I was like, hang on, there's Transformers Prime figures. So look, they're around, but my advice would be to do your homework in terms of shipping cost and currency conversion and GST fees and stuff like that, and see where you land on where the best deal is to acquire them. And sometimes the best deal will also be to pair up with other collectors and do group buys.
Yeah.
These guys do look good.
They do. I can't wait to get Breakdown. I don't have any Viacons, so that's fine.
I have several.
I've got these molds, but I haven't got the actual characters. So it's nice that people are getting a chance to get these toys at less than extortionary prices. I've got BotCon Megatron and BotCon Wingspan. That was a repaint of the Jet Viacon. Yeah, so they're pretty cool toys.
And I think we should be grateful because in every other universe, they are getting the Optimus, the Voyager, Deluxe, Optimus Prime, and Gold Unicron 2-pack from Takara, and that's what their 10th anniversary is. The figures that never sold.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the next reveal. So we've also seen at the tail end of this year, there's a bunch of sets coming from Amazon US called the Galactic Odyssey collection. It's part of Earthrise, and they are brown boxed. And we saw one set revealed a few weeks ago, the Paragon Medics collection. So this is Lifeline and Ratchet. So Lifeline is the Aqua repaint of RC, and Ratchet is the Ratchet repaint of Ironhide, who's in the Autobot Alliance pack. Now, Paragon Medics has proven quite popular, and during the regular Earthrise releases, we have seen the release of the Decepticon clones. So we knew the Autobot clones were coming sooner or later, and during PulseCon, we got confirmation that the Galactic Odyssey Set 3, just remember it's Set 3, is the Biosphere set. So there's five locations that the Galactic Odyssey collection is going to. Set 3 is Biosphere, and that's where we meet the Autobot clones. Now, these are the exact same figures that were already released in Titan's Return, and some people acquired them in Titan's Return. They were quite difficult to get, some of them, because they were in the multi-packs, Siege on Cybertron and Chaos on Velocitron. So if you didn't manage to get them, here's your chance. You can get the Earthrise, the regular Earthrise release of the Decepticon clones, and you can get the Biosphere Galactic Odyssey release of the Autobot clones. They're $24.99 US. They are small figures. They're sort of legend scale figures. And of course, like the clones that we've seen for a long time, they share an alt mode. but they share a robot mode, but their alt modes are very different. So like I think they're quite cute. I've had the clones in my collection, but I let them go, and I didn't really feel the need to keep them in my collection. So these are a bit of a pass from me. But what do you guys think? Are you big on the clones?
I got the Legends versions of these guys from a few years ago, so I'm quite happy with them.
Brad?
No comment.
I see. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I've got nothing to say about these.
Okay. Well, we'll take your silence as I'm going to buy 10 of them.
Wait, you heard me?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's not silence. Jeez, I thought I was still muted.
Okay. Well, that was weird. So let's move on. There's a few things that we should note about these. So I might just mute Bradley while he's doing. Right. So let's move on. There's a few things that we should note about these. The Australian pre-orders for some of these guys are up at all the best local retailers. So places like Robotoys, Bulletproof Villain, and Cybertron Surgery. You can find them online. Those are sort of all online only retailers. And EB and Zing have them available at retail. Now, it's worth noting that the deluxe class appears to be seeing a price rise in the USA, but we've been seeing some pretty wildly varying deluxe class prices for the last year, sort of going between $30 and $40. I think that deluxe class is probably going to trend up to $35 to $40, but it also seems like for the first time in a while, we're seeing a price rise in the Voyager class that is probably going to see it go from $50 up to somewhere close to $60. There's some of the pre-order prices are between $56, $57, and $60. So, I mean, look, it's been a while since we've seen a price rise on Voyager, and I think with the deluxe class prices getting closer to Voyagers need to move. But thankfully, I don't think we're going to see leaders move. There's been a $40 price difference between Voyagers and leaders for a while, so moving the Voyagers up a little bit does reduce that price point that price gap. To $30. So I think it might just be a little bit about what sort of spacing the prices out. We'll end up with core class at sort of $20 to $25. I think we'll end up with deluxe at $35 to $40. Voyagers $55 to $60, and leaders should stay there at $90. How do you feel about the prices, guys?
I think it's justified because if you look at the designs of some of these toys we're getting, the engineering and like the show accuracy of them, I think is, you can ask for a couple of extra dollars, and I think many people will be glad to pay it because they're getting a higher quality figure.
It does seem like there's some additional engineering in these, and there's also a lot more attention to detail. So we are seeing, we've seen attempts at doing these Beast Wars figures in toy form for a few times over the years, and each time they sort of haven't quite worked right. So if they're going to raise the price point, increase the engineering and some of the material use and parts counts, then fair enough. If that's what's necessary to get sort of accurate and articulated versions of these figures, then okay.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem here is they're the retail prices. If we get any of these figures, if you're hunting for Rat Trap or Megatron, talking in a local collectors group chat here, we've all pretty much agreed that we're going to have to go online to get Megatron and Primal because they're probably not going to turn up at local retail here at all.
Really?
Just because of what distribution's like. And to pay retail plus postage and everything else and online sales, it's going to be hard.
So I think my big issue with this is I don't think you should go pre-ordering these figures at full price. Like we know that figures come out and almost every retailer has a sale on toys at some point, some weeks. So a bit of judicious price matching, and you can generally pick up what you want at a price that you want. Sometimes you might have to wait a week or so here and there. But I can't bring myself to pay full price for figures, knowing that like a couple of weeks later, the same figure will be sold for 30% less.
Yeah, that's
the problem.
pisser.
Yeah, out here in the Goonies, we can't. That figure's not going to be here in 2 or 3 weeks to get it at a lower price, and that's the problem.
Maybe this has also been an interesting problem that's been occurring with the Netflix range is that they appear and then they disappear. They just fly off the shelves. You would not think that there's actually that many Transformers fans around where you are, but turns out there are.
I've never seen a single Netflix figure between several stores here and the next town over. I don't know what's going on there, but.
All right, let's move on. I think we're running over time, so I just want to talk about two more stories.
Yeah, get the scalpel out.
So we're going to talk about the figure, the new figure scans from Figure King scans showing the new Masterpiece Starscream. They're calling it version 2.0. That's fine. They can call it 2.0 all they want.
Isn't this actually like 4.0 or something?
No, it actually is 2.0. It actually is 2.0 because the MP11 mold is the MP3 mold with a few changes. So we are looking at scans of the new Masterpiece Starscream. What do you guys think?
It looks fantastic.
I'm happy with Earthrise.
Talk for a minute.
It doesn't help when we're not seeing any color on it, but of course we can just visualize those blue stripes going down. The Decepticon logos on the wings pointed upside down. If it's going to be toy accurate, we'll see what happens there. If they're going to go toy or cartoon, I'm guessing they're going to go cartoon, so they'll be the right way.
Yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. At the same time, like you said, it's a grey, unpainted prototype. But at the same time, this could also be like a movie Masterpiece Starscream. You know how he was grey in the movie.
Well, I'd have to look at the Top Gun Maverick Tomcat again that came out a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course this is a lot more detailed than that, but just even though Jason can't change the images at the moment, the jet mode looks fantastic. It doesn't appear to be too much robot kibble under it. But they're still going with those original Starscream Masterpiece sort of things, like the nose cone opening up to show the radar in there. Like, there's just, I don't even know why that's a thing. Just to have that realistic jet mode.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a thing people want to. I mean, I think people would rather not use a feature instead of wanting a feature and then not having it there.
And of course, it has to have a Gurok mode as well.
Yeah.
The new stands we're going for.
Here we go. We got the underside picture there, and it looks very similar to the Earthrise.
I can see its torso and its legs.
So look, in terms of it being sort of a realistic looking alt mode, I don't think it is actually that realistic looking. He looks more like the cartoon, the alt mode, I think, and that's kind of the point, is that they look like the cartoon.
Yeah.
My biggest
cool. Have a look at the robot mode. Here we
go. My biggest thing with this is just the absolute horror that has now befallen across collectors' minds of this, and the 9 repaints that are going to come. Repaints that are obviously going to come after it to fund future Masterpiece figures.
I think Jason's already been putting his pennies aside.
No, so look, I think that they might just do Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker and be done with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel
do bucket heads.
No, I feel like they went too far with the cone heads, and I think I feel like they only just managed to sort of do the cone heads, because you gotta remember they did them as Takara Tomy Mall exclusives, and that kind of means that the retailers weren't generally interested in stocking them. That created a bit of a kerfuffle for us, having to sort of get them all on import from toy importers and retailers. But and every time someone said, "Hey, this is a Takara Tomy exclusive," everyone's rolled their eyes and how am I going to get this one? And it turns out it was easy to get because all of the Takara Tomy exclusives get released by Hasbro Asia everywhere else on the planet anyway. So like it's not like it's that bad to get them, but it seemed like they had to sort of release them as an exclusive on their own platform in order to get them made. There's also there were some QC issues with the cone heads as well, which makes me think that maybe they were a bit of a stretch.
You don't think there'll be a Sunstorm, Acid Storm? Were they sought after? Because I know they weren't Takara Tomy mold, but they were quite a while ago, weren't they?
So Sunstorm was released under Takara and under Hasbro, but Acid Storm, I believe, was only released under Hasbro. Unless I'm wrong, I'm not sure. I think if you're going for a cartoon accurate Seeker mold, then there's no Sunstorm or Acid Storm in there.
True.
Yeah, that's the thing. Timing's one big thing. We've just had the cone heads, so if they were going to do new cone heads, it'd probably be 20 or 30 numbers down the track.
Maybe
a couple, 5, 6 years, maybe. But it's we've talked during the week, Jason. Omar Promise has got Ramjet on there for $200, so that some of those figures are still accessible to get.
They're still pretty easy to get, right?
Yeah.
Now, can we talk a little bit about Starscream's back? Because it's very clean.
The transformation on this looks
fantastic. Much has been made of his comically large underwear. However, I do think it's necessary to point out that is actually accurate to the cartoon model.
Everyone jumped up and down about Ironhide's nappy, yet Starscream has 2 nappies.
Well, so everyone jumped up and down about Ironhide's nappy. It wasn't so bad. Same thing with Megatron, if you recall. There was a lot of discussion about how Megatron's nappy was too big. I think when this gets painted up and shown in proper colors, I think it'll look fine. Yeah. Speaking of which, someone did as a digibag.
There it is.
I was going to say, with those prototype images we're looking at, the face sculpt looks generic enough that could easily be a Skywarp and Thundercracker as well.
That's true. I mean, like that's always been the case with the Seekers anyway. But like, I really like the look of this one. Sort of with at least fake digital color applied to it. I reckon it looks pretty great.
Is this definitely the same toy? Because I don't remember seeing these poses in those article images.
So this is not the first time that we've seen Starscream 3.0 or 2.0.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is for like a few weeks or months ago. Older photos.
It's probably some of the photos from other leaks been done up.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, right. So let's go back there. So yeah, so you're right. The
that's the flying pose there. They've just turned it a bit on an angle.
Yeah, it's a different pose, but yeah. So look, I'm pretty happy for him.
What? What do we think? Where's this price? Is it going to be under $300?
I don't think so.
Oh, don't say
I think it might end up being closer to 400, but I don't feel like it's necessarily going to be over 400. I don't know.
If it was going to be that higher price, though, wouldn't they have shown more accessories coming with this in this photo, or is this still just a upcoming mold?
No, that's a good point. Maybe there's not that many accessories. It's common assumption that the number of accessories is what drove up the price of MP44.
Do we need more little Megatron guns and people in cockpits?
It could also come with a crown and a cape.
I don't want the cape. I don't need a coronation cape on Starscream.
It's coming.
It doesn't last long, does it?
It's coming. It's going to come for the coronation.
Yeah, they'll be the fourth. They'll be the fourth mode, Jason. So you got Starscream, Skywarp, Thundercracker, Coronation, Starscream.
Well, they've done it.
They
before.
did that with the other ones. Yep.
In its own exclusive box and exclusive number.
All right. So before we finish off, let's look at the rest of the figure scans here. So there is some discussion of local Japanese releases of some of the figures that we've seen released already. It is interesting. Takara's release schedule seems to be consistently behind Hasbro for pretty much. It's actually been pretty much since Combiner Wars kit. It's been a little bit laggy. So we are seeing the sleep mode, alternate universe Optimus Prime that was released back in June, July for us, I believe, and the Seeker Elite 2-pack, which has just arrived, and there's whoop.
I still got mine in box.
There's Ramjet for you. So, the Secret Elite's making it out there. Autobot Alliance set with Ironhide and Prowl. We have actually talked about that already tonight. So, this is sort of a preview magazine, so it's showing us showing people what's coming to market soon in Japan. Then we've also got I think that's the second wave of the Netflix show there with Wheeljack and Red Alert and Optimus Prime with his accessories. That is a repaint of the Earthrise Optimus Prime. I do like the colors on the repaint. Actually, it's really quite nice.
I actually thought that was a picture. I thought they were doing MP44 without a trailer, because that actually looked. To me, it looked like MP44.
It's just a sign of how good the Earthrise Prime is.
Yep.
Yeah. Down the bottom is Studio Series Blitzwing, so called out because he is quite a nice looking representation of the character from the Bumblebee movie, and also the new Soundwave that is also coming in the Netflix. He's coming in the Netflix range, but he's sort of a little bit apart from it because he doesn't feature all the battle damage and stuff like that. So he's a very G1 accurate Soundwave. And he does come with Laserbeak and Ravage. If you were wondering why all of the shell-forming Laserbeaks and Ravages have disappeared, it's because they went back to the factory so that they could be included in this set.
They've been recalled, opened up, and put into another box.
So these are not new things that we haven't seen before. So that's sort of it's just sort of notice of things that are coming out. We have also spoken about the Volcanicus reissue in anime correct colors that is coming, and this also gives us a look at the Netflix Megatron, which perhaps didn't actually make release in Japan there. So he looks like he's a Phase EX, so he's a special edition. But those scratches and marks on his chest are unmistakable. Finally, we've run out of time, literally, because this is the Back to the Future Gigawatt. Now, we will spend a few minutes talking about Gigawatt. So, Gigawatt is an extensive repaint and retool of Siege Sideswipe. There is a Sideswipe hanging around somewhere in the guts of that machine. He's got gull wing doors, so that's quite a massive change. The gull wing doors. He's got the flux capacitor. There's a whole bunch of interesting accessories on the back of him. However, the biggest thing that has to be noted from this is that they fixed the windscreen.
Yeah.
They fixed the windscreen.
It
it's great. Like people were complaining about the windscreen being see-through and seeing a lot of plastic kibble through there. It's now black. You can't see it. It looks fantastic.
Wait up! It's not black.
It is black.
It is black.
There's the article here with in-hand images, and it's tinted. It's a tinted windscreen,
Guess
but
what
you can
color
still
it's
see.
tinted?
Yeah, but it's not completely black. You can still see the ship behind.
It's tinted black, though.
Okay.
It's tinted black where it was previously not tinted at all, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So now Gigawatt has been quite sought after. Hasbro did really pooch the initial US launch of this when he went up on Walmart and sold out within minutes, and then appeared on eBay via a lot of random scalpers. So we've been waiting a while. That was back in June, July. We've been waiting a while for October, and today, being the 2nd of October and being the 1st of October in the US, he finally appeared for order in places. He's been cited on Amazon Australia for $60, free with free Prime delivery, and sold out almost instantly. So
Of course.
yeah, of course. So he sold out almost instantly. He's also now appeared just this evening on EB Games for $69. Now, the great thing about ordering from EB Games is that you can skip postage by nominating to pick it up at your local store. So I've gone for that. I missed out on the Amazon order, so I've gone for the EB order and just sort of assumed that the $10 price difference covers what would have been postage. I can just ride to my local store and pick up the figure. So can't wait for that. The interesting thing about this is that while there's a bunch of figures sort of popping up at retailers around Asia, the going rate appears to be about so the going rate on the US sites for him is $30 US. On a lot of the online stores going around Asia, he's $50. But I will just say that the $50 ones appear to ship in the next week or so. EB Games does not ship until December, and some of the Amazon orders don't look like they ship until January. And if you order from Pulse in the US, you're not going to get this until January. So it looks like there's some staggered releases of this figure coming. And if you want it sooner, you've got the option. You can pay a little bit more and get it sooner. So you can pay a bit more, pay the $50 US, which is way more than $60 and $70, or you can pay the $70, get it in December, or you can pay a little bit less and get it in January. The option is yours. So I think that's a good amount of news for us to have made it through for this week's episode. I'm going to kick the news feed out of the stream. And we're going to return to a 3-up, and we're going to talk very briefly about figures that we've acquired in the last week or so before we end the podcast. Now, Brad, it's been a long time since you've been on. So, and I know you didn't really buy a lot of Transformers for a long time there, but you've been purchasing some figures recently and sort of getting back into your favorite, let's say, hobby. Do you want to talk us through some of your recent acquisitions that you are most happy with?
It's funny you say the last couple of weeks. It's been mentioned several times on the podcast, and
please tell people what you're holding up.
I'll be brief. This is the Earthrise Prime. I don't know why we can't just make G1 figures like this. It's fantastic. I can't do it now because I reckon I'll break it. The fact that you can just tab the tires off his ass and have it look just like the G1 Prime. This is my son's G1 Prime.
It is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a great Optimus Prime mold.
Wrong shoulder. I can't sing his praise enough. I don't know if I talked about this last time I was on, but refractor, whatever you call the FreeBot camera. I don't even know if it's Siege. It might be pre-Siege.
No,
I don't know. It's Siege.
So
Siege refractor.
You've got three Siege refractors.
Yeah. Unlike what we were just talking about with no Netflix series, walked in my local Target. There was 5 of them. I picked up 3. So,
nice.
Yeah, that Masterpiece Tigertron's incoming at a stupid price.
Where did you buy your Masterpiece Tigertron from?
You know where?
No, I don't. I don't remember. Tell me.
Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
We need to get rid of this.
All right, you can edit that part out.
Well, yeah, we need to get rid of this. I feel like I'm under the microscope.
Well, it's your.
Where did you get your Tigertron?
It's your acquisition. Tell us where you got your toys from.
Pen Chen got Tigertron. I got me Black Arachnia and Megatron for him as well. So local retailer. Been getting some of the studio series that have coming out. Sentinel Prime. And whatever Constructicons I can get for Devastator, even though they are Constructicons and not going to be Devastator. So, although my son has thoughts about that and wants to combine them. So that's happening there.
It's okay. It's just a phase he's going through.
Yes, disagree with Daddy. Yep. Yeah, but that's there. I've some figures here and there. Not really going full scale, full launch, full wave collections or anything at the moment.
I'm not really into collecting full waves of the retail stuff. Like I will pick and choose at I'll pick and choose at Kingdom. I've picked and chosen at Earthrise as well. And like I don't need to have a full complement of releases from a particular series. Just I'll put the ones that I like up.
I don't think I've ever done a full complement.
Oh, there's plenty of people that do though. So
Yeah.
Bradley, how about yourself? What have you been acquiring this week?
Just a brief little addition to last week. This is Scorponok.
Oh no!
Wow.
Not again.
He is a big mama jammer, and
You started transforming him after the show last week, and you only just finished before this show, right?
pretty much, yeah. He's just amazing in Scorpion mode. Next week, City mode. So look forward to that. And I got this for my birthday. Quintesson.
A Quintesson Judge. Very nice.
Yeah. Really, really nice. I got him on. This is my favorite face, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not. Because I like the voice work he does for like 2 seconds in 5 Faces of Darkness. And yeah.
Have you felt it at all necessary to transform your Quintesson Judge into his jail cell mode?
To be honest, I consulted the instructions only to see where to store the gun.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you could store the gun there.
Yeah, you store the gun underneath his chair.
So, okay, that's cool. So, I'll just point out the only version of this I have is the version that comes in the Pit of Judgment set. Now, where do you think the gun was in the Pit of Judgment set?
Oh, stuck in the bubble
probably
somewhere.
In the box, like in the accessories pack or something?
No, there's no accessories pack. The gun was actually inside the Quintesson in the jail cell cage.
Oh, wow.
So when I pulled him out of the box, what's that rattling around inside? And pulled. Oh, he's got a gun. Okay, cool. So they didn't attach it to the throne. Although, what color is?
Actually, does the Pit of Judgment set? Does he come with all the faces attached, or do you have to attach some?
No, they're already attached in the.
Okay, so the retail release, you do have to attach 2 of the faces, and that's the only time I ever actually took this out. Because you have to take this out in order to flip the flaps up to
Yeah, no, and that's fair enough. So the retail Voyager boxes have a certain width, and the figure is too wide for it, so they took the faces off. So,
yeah.
Or Optimus Prime got to them. Who knows?
So yeah, that's it for me. Just wanted to show off Scorps and Quintesson Judge.
Fantastic.
Can I just ask?
Yeah, go on.
Just ask a question. In regard to the Titans,
Yeah.
did either of you see Omega, and did either of you purchase Omega?
I do have Omega, but he's still in his box.
I've got Omega in the cabinet.
Were they retail or online purchase?
I purchased it online from Amazon.
My friend purchased the one I've got online, but he has since seen it in retail.
Predator King. Seen retail purchased.
Actually, don't have Predator King.
Purchased online, have seen in retail.
Okay, and of course you've got Triptychon now. I'm just wondering if these Titans are getting less and less.
Oh, you mean Scorponok?
What did I say?
Triptychon.
Oh,
I did get Triptychon at retail as well.
What's your question, Brad?
No, I'm just wondering if these Titan figures are getting less and less retail because of their inability to sell them or something. I don't know, because I really want to get Triptychon.
They get snapped up online, and by the time they come to a brick and mortar store, everyone that wants them has already got them online. So that's why they're gathering dust on the shelf.
I think what's ending up happening with Titans is that they're going to Toy World as their first release, and they're coming up at Well, it doesn't help me either. They're coming up at $2.99 at Toy World, which doesn't help anyone. And so then you end up, a lot of people will buy them from Amazon. So Amazon's had Scorponok going at $246 for quite a while, and I will buy.
Shipping on that.
It's free.
It's free. Pictures next week.
He's not $246 at the moment. You've missed the boat by about 5 weeks. So I think they're going to stores like Toy World. Maya has traditionally had the Titan class figures. I'm not sure what's happened with Titans in Maya because there's been a pandemic and I haven't looked in my local Maya store. I don't know if they've got Scorponok or not, but it's also quite early in Scorponok's release cycle. Still, like he's still quite new and he hasn't hit all of the retail stores that he's going to hit because it's 2020 and there's a pandemic. So if he's going to go to Big W, I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I don't care. My Amiga Supreme came from Amazon at the start of 2020 for $180. So I've got no intention of purchasing Scorponok until he's down sub $200.
Have you seen what Amiga's
next year?
Have you seen what Amiga's on Amazon now?
I have, but also there's a reissue.
What's he on at the moment?
500.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what he's listed for at the moment. There's a reissue coming, and so there's a lot of people. I've gotten into arguments with Americans about this. There's a lot of people in America that are desperate for that reissue because it'll bring the price down quite significantly.
Is this just a straight up reissue or?
Yeah, it's a straight up reissue. Yeah. There is also a reissue of Siege Jetfire coming. I should mention that. So it looks like his price is coming in at US $80 for the reissue. Reasonable price. So it's sort of about $115, $120 plus. You'll have to pay GST and pay some fees to ship him. So and also I will just point out he's quite heavy. He's about 1.2 kilograms and a big box. So yeah. Look, there's some reissues of some of these big bots coming. We did also hear during the week that there's a reissue of Combiner Wars Devastator that will be coming to Amazon. Whether it's still coming this year or not, we did see a little bit of news just as we were putting the show together, saying he's actually been delayed to 2021. We did hear from Ozformers that there's going to be 300 units of him released on Amazon Australia later this year. Whether or not that's a pre-order for those units arriving later or whether they're actually reserved and existing is hard to say. So anyway.
Have you got any new acquisitions, Jason?
I do, but I've neglected to bring them into the room with me. So I did get Studio Series Blitzwing. He's sitting on the kitchen table at the moment.
Yes, you seem very underwhelmed by him.
I really like his robot mode. I'm not in love with his alt mode. I feel like the top of the jet is nice, but it doesn't really look like any jet that you know. But then the bottom of it and the rear of it is just kind of a mess. It's there's just sort of robot parts hanging around all over the place.
The age-old jet.
Brad is just nodding and smiling as I say this.
No, I don't have it, but I've seen reviews and it's just that common jet issue.
I will leave him in robot mode and he'll be great.
The jet mode does look like a kid has drawn I saw Top Gun and this is one of the planes I saw. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like a real world plane.
Obviously they can't give him an accurate jet mode for reasons, but yeah.
I'm going to post some photos of pictures I drew after seeing Top Gun. And we'll see how realistic these jets are.
This is Tom Cruise.
Speaking of Top Gun, it is worth noting that Maverick, the Transformers Top Gun crossover, is coming to market in Hong Kong this week. So expect to see a lot of Maverick going around in the next few weeks.
I need to watch a review of that.
There'll be plenty to see shortly. Yep. All right, that is pretty much it. We have once again run to about 1.5 hours, and And that's the second time in 2 weeks that we've done this. So, for the people who like to time their morning exercise by the length of our podcast, we apologise for you being a little bit more out of breath than usual.
I'm sure Brad will whittle this down to like 45 minutes.
No, that's all going.
He can't. There's no statue news to remove.
Well, that's good point.
And this is Brad's first episode for a while, so we have to treasure every second.
So I will just point out, as usual, the podcast is a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. We are a registered fan club in Victoria, and we like to unite the Australian Transformers community by engaging them with a bunch of things to do in 2020. That's in the Facebook group, and in 2021, hopefully that will be at some local conventions and live events. We will see how that goes. However, you can sign up for membership. Membership costs $10 and runs until the end of the financial year. For your $10, you'll get a little membership pack with some goodies in it. And we also are doing some access to some purchasing and some freight forwarding advice this year. So if you are looking to purchase Gigawatt from overseas, for example, if you sign up as a club member, come and talk to me and we can sort something out. We have a bunch of Studio Series Leadfoot figures coming in for club members who've gone in on a group buy this last couple of weeks, and we're doing the same for Paradron Medics as well. So, if you would like to shop from the comfort of your own home and not worry about actually having to hit the shops for some of these figures, especially some of the exclusives, give us a yell and we'll do our best to bring things in at a reasonable rate for you. That is about it. Thank you for watching, everyone, and thank you for listening. If you're listening to the podcast later, you can find out all of the stories. You can find all the stories and more information in the show notes on your podcatcher of choice. You can find Brad, Bradley, and myself in the Transformers Collectors Club Australia group on Facebook. Come and hit us up and have a chat. We like to chat with other fans. In fact, it's what we do most of the time, all day on the Facebook group. Come join us. Come join us and be one of us. And of course, you can find Bradley on Twitch at twitch.tv/groovyguy0069, also known as just look for the big pair of legs with the Scorponok between them. That is all from us.
I got a follower goal coming up. When I hit 500 followers, this beard will be going pink. So come along, and always like to talk Transformers as well. So do come along and have a bit of a chat.
Fantastic. Sounds good. So hit up Bradley, and we'll see you in some way, shape, or form in. Maybe not next week. I think the news might be a little bit light on for now, but it's been a busy couple of weeks in Transformers news. Maybe not next week. Maybe the week after. We'll see how we go. Thank you for watching, everyone, and goodbye.
Bye.
1 hour 37 minutes. There we go. And broadcast.